The American dream, along with its British, Canadian and Australian counterparts, was once a clear agreement. Work diligently for 40 years, save responsibly, and retire with dignity. As 2025 approaches, that agreement no longer holds. The promise has weakened and the financial logic has failed. For millions of Gen X and baby boomer retirees, the challenge is not how to fill their time, but how to sustain their lives. A monthly income of $2,500 in a major Western city now represents financial strain. In cities such as New York, Toronto, or Sydney, this amount barely covers rent for an average apartment. When utilities, food, transportation, and healthcare costs are added, retirement becomes survival. One unexpected expense can create real risk. The critical issue, however, may not be income level, but geographic location. This principle defines the 2025 exit plan. It is not an act of escape, but a strategic application of geo-arbitrage. Income or pensions earned in strong currencies, such as the dollar, pound, or euro, are spent in economies where those currencies have greater purchasing power. The following explains why relocating one's life rather than increasing savings is the most effective way to achieve a high-quality retirement on a middle-class budget in 2025. The math of misery versus the math of freedom. Inflation in Western economies steadily erodes fixed income, reducing purchasing power over time. The trap. In the US, $2,500 is quickly allocated to essentials. Rent, $1,800, food, $400, utilities, $200, transport, $100. Balance, $0. The exit plan. In selected international destinations, that same $2,500 supports a lifestyle comparable to a $10,000 monthly budget in the West. Secure housing, quality food, private healthcare, and domestic assistance become accessible. This outcome reflects economic disparity, not financial illusion. Destination. A. Vietnam, the value frontier. Vietnam has undergone rapid transformation. The lifestyle. Modern apartments in Ho Chi Minh City or coastal Da Nang are available for $500 to $700 per month. The Millionaire factor, a $2,500 budget, allows for daily dining out, regular travel, household services, and increased leisure time. Services are affordable, freeing time as a valuable resource. Why 2025? Vietnam continues to modernize and costs are rising. Current conditions represent a narrowing window of exceptional value. Destination B. Panama, the safe haven. Panama offers international living with geographic familiarity. The infrastructure. Panama City features modern skyscrapers, a US dollar economy, and English-speaking medical professionals trained in the United States. The Pensionado program. With a lifetime pension of $1,000, retirees receive substantial discounts on utilities, flights, healthcare, and entertainment. The reality. A $2,500 monthly budget provides ocean view living, reliable healthcare, and convenient access to the US. Destination C. Turkey, the Mediterranean dream. Turkey combines historical depth with Mediterranean lifestyle benefits. The climate and diet, fresh produce, olive oil-based diets, outdoor living, and mild weather support long-term health. Cities such as Antalya and Aegean towns promote an active daily life. The real estate, currency movements have increased the purchasing power of the dollar and euro. A $2,500 budget allows for luxury rentals with amenities such as pools, gyms, and security, while still permitting savings. The culture. Turkey bridges Eastern and Western traditions, blending cafe culture with warm hospitality. It is culturally rich, accessible, and cost-effective. 1. The math of misery versus the math of freedom. Let's examine the cruel arithmetic that's been keeping you chained to your desk. The average Social Security monthly check for retired workers was around $2,009.50 in September 2025. Sounds reasonable, right? Until you realize that the average US retiree spends approximately $5,000 per month to cover living expenses, healthcare, travel, and leisure activities. You're staring at a $3,000 monthly shortfall before you even factor in that your dream of winter in Florida and summer road trips. The traditional wisdom says you should have accumulated enough savings to generate that missing $3,000 through the safe withdrawal rate of 4%. Do the math. You need $900,000 in savings just to bridge the gap between what Social Security pays and what American retirement costs. But here's where the narrative fractures. The median retirement savings for those aged 55 to 64 is $185,000. And for those 65 to 74, it's $200,000. The disconnect is staggering. About 3 in 5 American workers say their retirement savings are behind where they should be. The system isn't broken. The system is working exactly as designed, to keep you working. Now let's run different numbers. Freedom numbers. Take that same $2,000 Social Security check. Add $500 from a modest pension or part-time remote work. You've got $2,500 monthly. In Des Moines or Cleveland, you're still struggling. But in Da Nang, in Panama City, in Antalya, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. This isn't about being cheap. This isn't about eating ramen in a shack on the beach. This is about geographic arbitrage, the art of earning in strong currencies and spending in advantageous markets. It's about living better on less because the entire cost structure changes when you leave the American consumption machine. The question isn't whether you can afford to leave. The question is whether you can afford to stay. 2. Destination. A. Vietnam, the value frontier. Vietnam doesn't market itself to Western retirees the way Thailand and Portugal do. There's no glossy pensioner visa program, no government agency promising you paradise for a price. Vietnam makes you work for it a little, which is precisely why it remains one of the most spectacular retirement arbitrage opportunities in the world. The economics of Vietnamese living monthly. Living costs range between $800 and $1,800 US depending on location and lifestyle. Let's unpack what that actually means in practice. For $1,200 per month, a retiree can secure a modern one-bedroom apartment in a good neighborhood of Da Nang or Nha Trang. Enjoy 3 meals a day that would cost $40 in Brooklyn, but run $10 here. Hire someone to clean the apartment twice weekly. Maintain high-speed fiber internet, take weekend trips to UNESCO heritage sites, and still bank $1,300 monthly. That's not budgeting. That's barely trying. Many Westerners who live in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City get by spending around $500 per month, but it's a no-frills lifestyle. But who wants no frills when housing costs range from $600 to $1,500 per month for modern apartments? Leaving plenty of room for the good stuff. Fresh seafood markets, weekend trips to Halong Bay, regular massages that cost less than a McDonald's meal back home. The healthcare advantage. Western retirees obsess over healthcare costs, and rightfully so. A retiring couple may need up to $428,000 to have a 90% chance of covering medical costs in retirement in the United States. Vietnam offers a different calculation entirely. Health insurance typically costs about $60 per month in Vietnam. A consultation at a private hospital typically starts at about $30. Many private hospitals employ doctors who trained in the United States, Korea, Japan, and France. The facilities in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City rival anything in mid-tier American cities at a fraction of the cost. One retiree's story captures it perfectly. I needed a root canal. The dentist quoted me $150 total. I actually asked her to repeat the number. Back in Arizona, the estimate was $1,800. Same procedure, same quality. I could have flown round-trip business class to Vietnam, had the procedure done, spent a week recovering on the beach, and still saved money. The visa reality check. Here's where Vietnam demands honesty from you. No official retirement visa exists in Vietnam as of 2025. This isn't a deal breaker, it's a different game. Most retirees use the investor (DT) visa, which requires some business investment in Vietnam, or they opt for the visa run strategy, leaving the country every 3 months to renew their tourist visa. Many treat these runs as opportunities to explore neighboring countries, Cambodia's temples, Thailand's islands, Laos's mountains. Is it ideal? No. Is it insurmountable? Absolutely not. Thousands of retirees have made Vietnam work, and the Vietnamese government has been discussing a golden visa program that could provide more stability in the near future. The city's Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, thrumming with energy, motorbikes cascading through streets like schools of fish, rooftop bars overlooking the Mekong River. This is for retirees who want urban electricity, world-class restaurants, and the pulse of Southeast Asia's rising economy. Budget: $1,500 to $2,000 monthly for comfortable living. Da Nang. The Goldilocks option. Not too frenetic, not too sleepy. Stunning beaches, a growing expat community, modern infrastructure, and easy access to both Hoi An's ancient charm and Hugh's imperial history. Budget: $1,000 to $1,400 monthly. Hoi An, lanterns glowing over the Thu Bon River, tailors who can copy any outfit in 24 hours, and a pace of life that feels like you've stepped into a slower century, perfect for the retiree seeking tranquility and culture. Budget: $800 to $1,200 monthly. Nha Trang, beach town energy, Russian expat community, fresh seafood markets, and some of the best scuba diving in Asia. Budget: $900 to $1,300 monthly. The Vietnamese lifestyle is simple. Mornings start with café sua ja, iced coffee with condensed milk, at a street-side cafe where the chairs are child-sized and the conversations are spirited. Days involve exploring markets, taking language classes, or working on that novel you never had time for. Evenings mean dinner with friends, maybe other expats, maybe locals who've adopted you, followed by walks along the waterfront. Vietnam's cost of living is roughly about 59% lower than that of the United States, with rent being around 78% cheaper in some areas. But the real value isn't just financial. It's the realization that you can live richly, culturally, socially, experientially, on what would be poverty wages back home. 3. Destination B, Panama, the safe haven. If Vietnam is the frontier, Panama is the established base camp. This is where geographic arbitrage meets first world infrastructure, where you can live on $2,500 monthly while maintaining easy access to American comforts and family back home. The Pensionado program. Citizenship's backdoor Panama rolled out the red carpet for retirees decades ago, and it remains one of the world's most generous retirement visa programs. The Panama Pensionado visa requirements for 2025 feature immediate permanent residency, no maximum age limits, and accessible income thresholds starting at $1,000 per month. Read that again. $1,000 monthly income, that's it. No massive bank deposits, no property purchase requirements. Though if you purchase residential property worth at least $100,000, the requirement reduces to $750 monthly. Just proof of a lifetime pension or social security. The Pensionado visa offers some of the most generous retiree discounts in the world, helping pensioners maximize their income and enjoy a comfortable standard of living. The benefits read like a fantasy. 50% off movies, concerts, sporting events, 25% off airline tickets within Panama, 30% off other transportation services, 25% off electricity, water, and telephone bills, 20% off doctor's visits, 15% off hospital bills, 15% off bank loans. These aren't promotional gimmicks, these are law. Flash your pensionado card, watch your bill drop by a quarter or half. The math makes sense. A couple can live comfortably in Panama for $1,500 to $3,000 per month, depending on lifestyle choices. Unlike Vietnam, these numbers include American standard expectations, air conditioning, imported goods when you want them, regular visits,
to restaurants where English is spoken. Housing varies dramatically by location. In Panama City, a modern two-bedroom apartment might rent for $1,200 to $1,800 per month, while in smaller towns or rural areas, you can find similar properties for under $800. But here's what separates Panama from other retirement destinations: the US dollar is the official currency. No exchange rate anxiety. No currency risk. You know exactly what you're spending because it's printed in the same dollars you've been earning. Healthcare without bankruptcy. Private healthcare is high quality, affordable, and widely available in major cities. Panama has become a medical tourism hub, with hospitals in Panama City meeting American accreditation standards. Many doctors trained in the United States. English is widely spoken in medical facilities. A routine doctor visit, $20 to $60. Prescription medications, often 50 to 70% cheaper than in the States. The same insulin that costs $300 in Miami runs $80 in Panama City. The geography of freedom. Panama offers microclimates and lifestyle variations that rival countries 10 times its size. Panama City, Manhattan meets Miami. High-rise condos overlooking the Pacific, a skyline that would impress in any world capital, and enough cosmopolitan energy to satisfy the retiree who can't quite quit the urban life. Yes, it's more expensive, $2,000 to $2,500 monthly, but you're living in a first-world capital with third-world prices on everything from healthcare to hired help. Boquete, the mountain town where Americans go to pretend they're not in Central America. Mild temperatures year-round, goodbye, air conditioning bills, a massive expat community, weekly farmers markets, and coffee plantations as far as you can see. This is for retirees who want Colorado weather with Panama prices. Budget, $1,500 to $2,000 monthly. Coronado, beach life without the backpacker energy. Gated communities, golf courses, and a high concentration of North American retirees mean you can find your tribe immediately. It's 90 minutes from Panama City, close enough for big city amenities but far enough to avoid the chaos. Budget, $1,800 to $2,500 monthly. Las Tablas/Petasi, the authentic Panama. Fishing villages turned sleepy expat havens. Beaches empty except for the pelicans. A pace of life that feels like you've discovered a secret. Budget, $1,200 to $1,600 monthly. The tax situation. No tax on foreign earned income. Retirees do not have to pay Panama taxes on their U.S. or Canadian pensions. Your Social Security. Tax-free. Your IRA withdrawals. Tax-free. Panama uses a territorial tax system, meaning only income earned within Panama gets taxed. Plus, new real estate developments may offer up to 20 years of property tax exemptions. Buy a newly built condo, pay no property tax for 2 decades. The proximity factor. This is Panama's secret weapon, geography. Flight time from Miami, 3 hours. From Houston, 3.5 hours. From New York, 5 hours. Your grandkids can visit for spring break. You can fly back for Christmas without the logistical nightmare of 24-hour travel days. Panama sits in the same time zone as the U.S. East Coast. No jet lag. No missing your nephew's graduation because you couldn't coordinate across 12 time zones. Panama offers a wide range of activities that are perfect for active retirees, including beaches for swimming and water sports, jungles and rainforests ideal for nature lovers and hikers, excellent golf culture, and vibrant festivals, music, and food. After 5 years of permanent residency, you become eligible for Panamanian citizenship. That means a second passport, Plan B for your family, and the freedom to live anywhere in the Americas without visa complications. Panama isn't sexy. It doesn't have Vietnam's exotic mystique or Turkey's ancient history. But it works. It's the pragmatic choice for retirees who want massive cost savings without massive cultural adjustment. It's the retirement hack that actually delivers on its promises. 4. Destination C, Turkey, the Mediterranean dream. Turkey operates in a different register than Vietnam or Panama. This isn't just about cheap living. This is about stepping into a civilization that was building empires when London was a collection of huts. This is about tea, served in tulip glasses at sunset, the call to prayer echoing over Byzantine domes, markets selling spices that most Americans can't pronounce. Most retirees find they can live very comfortably on $1,000 to $1,500 per month, including rent, groceries, transport, and leisure activities. But the financial advantage is just the entry ticket. The real wealth is the life you construct. The Turkish lira advantage. Turkey's currency has been volatile, which sounds scary until you realize what it means for someone earning in dollars or euros. Your purchasing power has exploded. Living in Turkey costs about 85% less than in the US excluding rent. Including rent it goes up to 117% less. A 3-bedroom apartment on the Mediterranean coast that would rent for $3,500 in Southern California, $600 in Antalya. The same meal at a beachfront restaurant that costs $60 in Barcelona, $15 in Fethy. A monthly gym membership in London, £60. In Bodrum, $20. This isn't poverty tourism. Many expats set up multi-currency accounts or use international money transfer services like Wise, formerly TransferWise, Revolut, or Western Union to move money between countries efficiently and at low cost. The savvy retiree keeps most assets in dollars or euros and converts to lira monthly, capitalizing on favorable rates. The lifestyle equation. A retired couple can comfortably live in Alanya for $1,000 to $1,500 per month. Let's break down what that actually buys. The cost of living, reimagined. Imagine waking to salt air and sunlight bouncing off the sea, not as a vacationer, but as routine. In Turkey, that scene doesn't require a swollen bank account. A contemporary 1-bedroom residence, glass balcony, open-plan kitchen, coastal panorama, and on-site comforts such as a swimming pool, fitness studio, and round-the-clock security, typically settles between $400 and $600 per month. Daily essentials remain refreshingly modest. Power, water, high-speed internet, and mobile service usually hover around $60 to $100 monthly. Groceries lean toward abundance rather than austerity. Market fresh fruits and vegetables, village cheeses, crusty bread, and fragrant olive oil, all comfortably contained within $200 to $250. Dining out isn't an indulgence here, it's a habit. A relaxed meal for two at a respectable neighborhood restaurant often lands between $10 and $20, meaning you can eat out a dozen times a month and still stay financially nimble. Mobility is equally forgiving. A monthly public transport pass costs $30 to $50, while short taxi rides commonly register at $3 to $5. Healthcare coverage through private insurance generally runs $50 to $100 per month, and leisure, gym access, cinema outings, cultural evenings, rarely exceeds $100. All told, a comfortable, even enviable lifestyle clocks in at $1,200 to $1,400 monthly. Paradoxically, many find it richer than a $5,000 a month existence in Phoenix. Healthcare that actually delivers. Turkey has slipped quietly into the ranks of global medical heavyweights. Each year, millions arrive for treatments ranging from cosmetic dentistry to intricate surgical procedures. The private healthcare sector mirrors Western European standards while charging rates more reminiscent of Southeast Asia. Decades of reform have reshaped the system, pushing life expectancy to 78.6 years, now edging past the United States. A standard physician consultation typically costs $20 to $30. A dental cleaning, about $30. Even a hip replacement at a premier private hospital usually falls between $8,000 and $10,000, a stark contrast to the $40,000 plus price tag common in the U.S. Prescription medications are routinely 50 to 80% cheaper than their American counterparts. Many retirees opt for international health insurance that includes Turkey, paying $1,200 to $2,400 annually, roughly what many Americans surrender each month. The geography of choice. Few nations compress such geographical diversity into one border. Turkey stretches across 5,000 miles of coastline, backed by snow-dusted mountains, arid plains, and fertile valleys. For retirees, the gravitational pull centers on the Aegean and Mediterranean shores. Antalya stands as both a tourism titan and a magnet for foreign property buyers. The city pulses with malls, nightlife, and metropolitan infrastructure, while nearby coastal towns move at a gentler tempo. Monthly budgets range from $1,200 to $1,800 in the city proper, dropping to $800 to $1,200 in surrounding areas. Fethi pairs pine-covered hills with Lycian ruins and paragliders drifting above Uludeniz turquoise arc. Its substantial British, German, and Scandinavian population has created a welcoming, international rhythm. Living costs remain approachable, with monthly expenses typically between $1,000 and $1,400. The Bodrum Peninsula is the Turkish Riviera's polished gem. Whitewashed homes cascade toward cobalt waters, yacht marinas gleam, and art galleries share space with refined cafes. It's the upscale option, still gentler on the wallet than Miami or Monaco, but undeniably elevated. Expect $1,800 to $2,500 per month. Alanya offers one of the Mediterranean's most economical seaside lifestyles. Lively markets, pedestrian streets, and large Russian, German, and Scandinavian communities ensure social ease and linguistic comfort. Budgets usually land between $1,000 and $1,500. Koken, perched dramatically above the sea, favors modern design and cinematic vistas. Steep stone streets deter cruise crowds, preserving an air of quiet sophistication. Those drawn to beauty with a slightly higher price point typically spend $1,500 to $2,000 monthly. The culinary awakening. Turkish cuisine rarely receives the global reverence granted to Italian or French fare, yet extended time here alters perceptions swiftly. Meals are vivid, unpretentious, and rooted in freshness. Days often begin with an expansive Turkish breakfast: olives, cheeses, tomatoes, cucumbers, eggs, warm bread, and jam, all accompanied by an unending stream of K. Lunch and dinner unveil kebabs bearing little resemblance to late-night donor memories, fish grilled simply with lemon and olive oil, and mises that stretch a meal into a lingering social ritual. Vegetables arrive so robustly flavored they no longer feel obligatory. Eating out is inexpensive enough to become routine. $8 secures a full local meal: soup, main course, salad, bread, tea. $20 buys the same with sea views and English menus. The visa landscape. Turkey's residency framework occupies a middle ground, less labyrinthine than Vietnam's, less effortless than Panama's. While there is no dedicated retirement visa, several workable pathways exist, making long-term stays both practical and attainable for those willing to navigate the system thoughtfully. Residence pathways in Turkey, the practical routes. Short-term residence permit, STRP. Issued for a single year and renewed annually, the STRP is the workhorse permit favored by most retirees. Eligibility hinges on demonstrable financial self-sufficiency, commonly a minimum balance of roughly $6,000 held in a Turkish bank, paired with valid health insurance. It is straightforward, procedural, and widely used. Long-term residence permit. After 8 uninterrupted years of lawful residence, the door opens to an indefinite stay. Renewals become less intrusive, paperwork thins, and permanence replaces probation. Citizenship by investment. Those seeking speed and certainty can opt for the fast lane. A qualifying real estate investment of $400,000 or more can translate into Turkish citizenship, and a passport, within 6 to 12 months. For retirees intent on irrevocable footing and a second nationality, this is the decisive play. The machinery is bureaucratic, yes, but hardly insurmountable. Most retirees enlist local facilitators who shepherd documents and deadlines for fees typically ranging from $500 to $1,000. Friction exists, paralysis is optional. Cultural immersion, beyond the expat enclave. What sets Turkey apart is not merely affordability or climate, it is permeability. You can insulate yourself, of course. Towns like Fethi and Alanya offer pockets where English dominates and familiarity cushions the landing. Yet Turkey does not confine you there. It beckons inward. Acquire conversational Turkish, more knotted than Spanish, far less labyrinthine than Vietnamese, and doors swing open. Neighbors extend invitations for tea that stretch into dinner. Market vendors at the weekly Pazer memorize your tastes and greet you by name. Attend a local festival and you are no longer a spectator, you are drafted into a family circle that refuses to let you eat alone. This country lives on fault lines of time and geography. Mornings can be spent wandering Ephesus, tracing the stones where St. Paul once addressed the Ephesians. Afternoons unfold in chilled cafes with fiber-fast internet, where you rebalance a portfolio or answer emails. A ferry ride can carry you from Europe to Asia before lunch. You might reside in a half-millennium-old stone house discreetly wired with smart technology, where antiquity and automation coexist without apology. A necessary reality check. Turkey does not offer the antiseptic predictability of Switzerland. The lira sways. Politics hum with tension. Paperwork can feel Byzantine, intentionally so, perhaps. Beyond tourist corridors, English is sparse, and misunderstanding is part of the curriculum. Yet for retirees willing to tolerate nuance and volatility, the reward is uncommon. Turkey grants a life textured with culture, history, and sensation at a cost that would scarcely cover rent back home. A monthly budget of $2,500 does not merely stretch, it multiplies. You are not economizing, you are inhabiting a civilizational crossroads where East converses with West, antiquity shakes hands with modernity, and abundance wears a quieter face. The exit plan, from idea to departure. Insight without execution is theater. Here is how movement becomes momentum. Phase 1, Research and Reconnaissance, months 1 to 3. Immerse yourself digitally before you arrive physically. Join expatriate groups on Facebook. Study YouTube channels run by retirees already on the ground. Plan a 2 to 3 week reconnaissance trip. Travel during shoulder season, leaner prices, thinner crowds, truer rhythms. Phase 2, financial architecture, months 3 to 6. Engineer your money before it engineers you. Establish international banking through platforms like Wise, Revolut, or Charles Schwab, noted for ATM fee refunds. Clarify tax obligations. U.S. citizens, in particular, remain tethered to annual filings. Arrange Social Security direct deposits to an international account. Sell, lease, or otherwise rationalize property holdings back home. Phase 3, legal foundation, months 6 to 9. Precision matters here. Retain a local attorney to navigate visas and compliance. Assemble essential documents, birth certificates, police clearances, medical records. Secure apostilles or consular authentication where required. Submit the retirement visa application. Phase 4, trial run, months 9 to 12. Resist premature commitment. Rent short-term accommodation in your chosen locale. Avoid immediate property purchases, a frequent and costly misstep. Live the routine for 3 to 6 months. Join clubs, language classes, and volunteer groups to test social fit. Phase 5, commitment, month 12 and beyond. When certainty replaces curiosity, formalize. Sign a long-term lease or acquire property. Establish relationships with healthcare providers. Cultivate a local social lattice. Refine your budget using lived data, not projections. The mindset shift that changes everything. Logistics are not the true obstacle. Narrative is. American retirement culture sold a brittle myth. Labor until 65, then preserve the same life in the same place, minus the job. The arithmetic fails because the assumption is flawed. What if retirement is not cessation but ignition? What if it is the chapter you deferred while obligations shouted louder than desire? What if the so-called golden years could be platinum or diamond, if only you allowed 60 to signify commencement rather than closure? A $2,500 monthly income is not deprivation. It is a travel document. Vietnam, Panama, and Turkey are merely 3 coordinates on a map dense with places where modest means unlock outsized lives. The real question was never sufficiency. It was courage, whether you are willing to believe that enough might be waiting somewhere you have never thought to look. This exit plan is not an escape from life. It is a sprint toward a better one. Your boarding pass is already printed.